What up everybody, True Tech back again with another Bushin review tip, and today we're going to talk about specifically Juri punishes on Can. So unique to Juri. So unique to Juri, if she DPs on wake up on a Can, she lands on it and that allows you to get a combo, assuming you didn't die from DP. Most juries, in my opinion, or at least that I played, know this, but even the ones that know this can panic and DP, and you need to be ready. At a lower level, they may not even be aware because Kimberly is not that popular of a character. She gets played, but if you haven't had these interactions or you don't practice against the Kimberly that often, they may not be aware, and so you should be ready in case they do. Even if they don't, it makes Can really strong in this matchup in particular. Like, Can is strong in general, of course, but in this matchup, I will spin Can on almost every knockdown, whereas in other matches, I will typically go for Tatsu Oki if I'm, unless I need that comeback or I want to try and guarantee that hit. So let's talk about what happens when she does get hit and your options for punishing her. Okay, turn the DP on. We know we got the correct setup. We saw +3 after the Can. So let's go ahead and go over the different options. So first things here. You see, she lands on it. Alright, so we got a recording set up. Here is going to default to Can being thrown, DP on wake up. As you can see here, DP on wake up, and just to show you everything combos, we will block all. So let's go over the different options, damages, and everything here. So there are two things to keep in mind about this. One is that some combos require you to neutral tech, so honestly just get in the habit of neutral teching against this anyway. If you're someone like me who mashes buttons, alright, then you'll just have to take what you can get unless you're specifically wanting to go for the EX Azuna. As you can see here on back, it whiffs. So for meterless, you do have to neutral tech. And you get all hits of Tatsu for 1476. So there are two that I typically go for, and they depend on what I want. If I want to super, then I'll go for that. See. Okay, so we were able to get the 42 frames like first try. Sometimes I find it to be a little inconsistent myself. You might get 43, 41 frames. Test it out yourself, see how consistent you are. I personally don't really go for this setup because if I'm gonna spin meter, I'd rather go a tip. Like usually, I don't spin meter if I only got 2 bars. I usually spin meter if I got more than 1. So I'm usually not gonna go for this setup if I want a safe jump. But again, lab, see what works best for you. So I'm actually going to show you something here. This is actually the most optimal option for 2 bars. It is very tough. I personally have not gotten it consistently at all, but I want to show you that it is possible. If you're someone who's really good at this type of thing and figuring out the nuances of how to get this consistently, holla at your boy because it is the most optimal. It gives you the best damage for the least amount of meter. I'm actually not going to edit this part. I'm going to show you how many tries it takes for me to land it. Well, maybe I'm a liar. It only took a couple tries, but it is very tight timing. I think you gotta walk forward a little bit, like this on micro, and then. Alright, so actually we might need to talk a little bit, because that is the most optimal option. That might be a little bit easier than I thought. I think that little micro step and then doing it is what's getting me there. So we'll definitely work on that a bit more, but that is the most optimal for 2 bars. You can also use it, of course, to set up the safe jump like you normally can from the EX Azuna with the jump heavy punch. And both of those do more damage, even if you do the safe jump, it does more damage than if you did the higher damage 2095 with the Vagabond Edge Ender. If you are able to consistently get the EX Azuna, even with the safe jump in there, that's 2142 versus 2095 on the other one for the same amount of meter. You actually have to spend 4 bars to beat that damage, because the 3 bar does not do as much damage this year, but it is much easier. So let's go into that. So as you can see here, it's 2510. It's 3 bars. You lose 80 damage. It is way easier, but you're losing damage. So you can see how much better the other one is. And remember, this one you specifically must neutral tech. If you do not neutral tech, your DR 2 HP will whiff because you're not close enough. So to beat that damage, you must use 4 bars. As I mentioned, let's go into this 4 bar option so you can see it's fairly simple. You can probably tell what it's going to be just based on the other one. So as you can see here, spent 4 drive bars in order to do this combo. You must neutral tech in order to get, what is that? About a little over 100 more than the TK Azuna drop option. You have to spend 2 more bars, and also the thing about this is you are doing drive rush, which means you do not regenerate your drive until the end of the combo, whereas if you are able to get the TK EX Azuna, you're gonna get your drive back during the combo because EX moves do not stop the regeneration. So it is a better option if you can get it consistently. I personally haven't yet, but now that I'm landing it a bit more, I might have to go ahead and lab it and see if I figured out that little, a little trick to keep it more consistent. Other than that, of course, you can spend more meter. You can use EX up kicks with your DR or something of that nature to spend a bit more meter, but it is very strong because it forces the Juri players to be honest. They either have to hold that or spend meter, super meter, in order to get out. So I think it's very good here, and something that you should know for the Juri matchup, so that you keep a can in front of her and you force her to take some big damage. Imagine you just took 4,500 because you DP'd on the wake up. You hit me. You DP'd on wake up and hit me, and you took 4,500. How about that? So definitely something to keep in mind. It's not something that hits fairly often, because as people learn about it, they know not to DP, but I still get it every now and again, even against someone who I practice against a lot, who's Juri main. Again, when they're getting that pressure and they see that bomb and they know that the mix-up is coming, sometimes they just can't help themselves, and you need to show them that they need to. So once again, as always, I appreciate if you stay to the end of the video. Please follow on Twitch, follow on Twitter, sub on YouTube. It helps your boy out. And of course, comment, because I love reading your comments, and I'll try to help any way I can if someone is having some issues in the matchup. Sign up for Help Each Tech Sensei if you want to have your match reviewed and on stream or recorded and uploaded. Thanks again for coming through. I appreciate everybody. Peace.